Going to start this class with an activity, an audio. We're gonna listen to, well, it seems like it's an interview to some teenagers and about their favorite items. And then we will talk about some vocabulary that we use when we want to ask how efficient something is. So, well, the class is being recorded now. And I'm gonna play the audio, and this is like a real talk. We're gonna listen to it twice, and we have to check, or we have to click on the gadgets that you well, the gadgets that you listen to, okay, through the conversation. So here we go. We're gonna play it and
Page 60.
so there we go.
Conversation. Getting gadgets. Exercise 1. Watch or listen to the teenagers talk about their favorite gadgets. Check their favorite items.
What's your favorite gadget?
Probably my tablet. The new ones are designed more like big phones, but I can still take it everywhere. I actually like it better than my phone because it's got a nicer camera. It's also made so you can use it outside to take pictures in the rain or in more extreme weather.
That's a hard question. I'm sure everyone says their phone, but not me. I don't even have a phone. I would say my miniature reading light. I share a room with my brother, and since he always goes to bed early, I need my light to read. The bulb lasts forever.
My phone? Of course. I couldn't live without it. Could you?
I like to go camping a lot, so I'd say my flashlight is my favorite gadget. It's made for long backpacking trips, so it's light and compact. The best thing is that it doesn't need batteries. You just have to wind up the side handle and it turns on.
I'd have to say that my stress ball is my favorite gadget. Does that count as a gadget? It's made of this strange material. You can squeeze it really hard and then it just pops back into shape. I don't know why, but it always makes me feel better.
My favorite gadget is my alarm clock because it's designed for people like me who don't like to get up in the morning. Basically, to turn it off, you have to throw it against the wall. I almost always wake up by the third try.
What's your favorite gadget?
Page 60.
So, what gadgets were they mentioned during the audio? What gadgets did you hear?
A phone and a flashlight.
Good. Those are ones. Did you hear any other gadgets?
Tablet and stress ball.
And a stress ball. Okay.
An alarm clock.
A what?
Alarm clock.
An alarm clock. Okay. Well, that's weird. So, do you have any favorite items? Like these small gadgets? I think that many people would say their phone. Do you have any other items or gadgets that you take with you every day?
My
I have a
laptop.
spinner.
Okay, spinner. Okay, that's one. Helps a lot for stress, right?
Yes, it's like that. I don't know if it really helps, but I still use it. I like it.
Okay, very well. I would say they're not a gadget, but I really like my guitar. I really love playing. I don't know. I don't think I use any other than my phone maybe and my computer. Those are the gadgets that I have with me all the time because of my work. Do you have any other gadget you like to use?
My Apple Watch and my AirPods too. I don't know if that's it's that one or a gadget too, but I use my Apple Watch every day and my AirPods a lot too.
All right. Okay, very well. How about Sandy? What do you use any gadgets? Do you like any specific gadgets? Yeah, I can hear you. All right. Very well. So now we mentioned them. Now, very often when you don't know how to use a new gadget, it happens sometimes with apps, but there are new technologies too, and we may ask for help about how something works. Also, when you receive some training at work, it's necessary to get to know really well the function of how things work in the company, not only we could say like how the company legally works, how you can do your job, but also the specific items or the specific gadgets that you use at work. So there is one specific area that when you work for a company, so it's called the HR, right? And HR stands for.
Human resources.
Yeah, exactly. In human resources, it's supposed to not only be the one that hires you or that um yeah, that plans the interview and the questions it according to some parameters hire you, but the HR, it's also responsible for the training of their employee. So if the employee is well trained, it's going to have very good results. Now, some companies don't really take the time to train their employees, and the results are that when you go and um, you as a client, work at want to get something from the company, you can see that the person doesn't really know really well about what they're doing, right? So this department is called the training department, right? The training department, or they could also call it people people training and management. Yeah. So sometimes they say people training and management, which is like another department inside human resources. So the people training and management department, that it's part of human resources, they will let you know, imagine that you work at a factory, which now it's a little bit old-fashioned, but any kind of company, you will need to be given the instructions and you need to understand really, really well what you need to do. So here we have a couple of questions that you can use. And we're going to, like I told you the last class, we're going to talk about some parameters or key indicators for employees, some human resources vocabulary, and sometimes vocabulary that you need as an employee, or if you are an employer too, what are the common parameters that you would use? So now we're going to listen to this conversation. You will notice this person, Eddie, and this person goes to the shop, and the clerk needs to give really good information about the device that pretends to buy. So let's listen to it. So let's go. We complete the conversation.
Exercise 3. Eddie is shopping for a new phone. Listen and complete the conversation with the words in the box.
Excuse me, could you show me some of your smartphones?
Sure. Did you have one in mind?
Not really. Which model is the best?
I like this one, the TS500.
Okay. Is it easy to use?
Oh, yes, it's extremely user-friendly.
Great. And how long does the battery last?
About 8 hours.
That's not bad. How good is the sound?
It's pretty good.
I see. And can I put a lot of songs on it? How much memory does it have?
You can download thousands of songs. You can get it with 16 gigs, 32 gigs, or 64 gigs of memory.
Okay. I need 32 gigs. Does it have a camera?
Of course. Anything else?
Oh, yeah. How much does it cost?
For the 32 gig, $150.
That's a little bit pricey. but I'll take it.
Unit 6. Before there was
Well,
texting.
that's not really pricey, right? But okay. So now, who would like to be the clerk? So remember, clerk is person working at a shop, and Eddie. So we need two people to read the conversation.
I can be Eddie.
Okay, so who would like to be the clerk?
Okay, I can be clerk.
Okay, please go ahead.
Excuse me, could you show me some of your smartphones?
Sure. Do you have one in mind?
Not really. Which model is the best?
Like this one, the TS 500.
Okay. Is it easy to use?
Oh yes, it's extremely user-friendly.
Great. And how long does the battery last?
About 8 hours.
That's not bad. Um, how good is the sound?
It's pretty good.
I see. And can I put a lot of songs on it? How much more memory does it have?
You can download thousands of songs. You can get it with 60 gigabytes, 32 gigabytes, or 64 gigabytes of memory.
Okay, I need 32 gigabytes. Does it have a camera?
Of course. Anything else?
Oh yeah, how much does it cost?
For the 32 gigabytes, 150.
That's a little bit pricey, but I'll take it.
Okay, very well. And so the expressions here used are could you show me, right? So in this case we it's a client interested in seeing the products, but it could be the opposite, right? When you need some training or some information about how something works, right? Then they're using this is it, and then they use the adjective here and infinitive, right? Is it easy to use? Is it wireless? Um, I don't know. Is it confidential? You could use it. You could use this structure. So you start using is it, then you use an adjective, and then the infinitive. All right. Then let's say for example, is it advisable? You could ask, right? Um, is it advisable to, I don't know, get this product? Is it advisable to get this product? You could ask, right? You can use it with any adjective and just infinitive. Then we have here how long, just to ask specifically about the battery, right? How long, when you talk about time, you don't say how much time. I think you say how long, right? So whenever you want to know about time, don't say how much, but how long, right? Then how good is, how good is. You can just use it at the beginning and change the adjective, right? To get to know more. All right. So you could use this conversation and change it for any gadget, any product, or any service that you would like to buy. All right, so now we're talking about training, about some information that we may need at work. So now we're going to work on the next activity to get to know some parameters and some vocabulary that you need when you start a new job, especially for the human resources part. So, all right. So please join us in the next activity and we analyze the vocabulary little by little. Okay, here we go. You can join us. I will send you a link here on the chat, or you can scan a code. You can scan a code too. Go ahead. And here you have a link to WhatsApp. I mean on Zoom chat. Okay, well, that's so we can start. Okay, so here choose the option you think is correct. So it's the first time we see the vocabulary. So if you know it, you can choose the option. If you don't know, doesn't matter. We're gonna check together in a moment. So what is mean of an exit interview? Okay, yeah. This is like not that common, but sometimes you just have to make sure, that you sometimes they have the confidential clause in the contract, right? Like part of them to keep the confidentiality, right? Some I think that most of the companies have this confidentiality or what's it called? Corporate corporate secret. So that means that if they have like some information about clients, about procedures, competitive, I don't know. So you can't reveal that in your next company. You can't use it like sometimes it's hard, like if you start a similar business yourself or you start working in a different company, I think that you will reuse some of the things that you learn, but still you have the confidentiality. So that's why sometimes you have the exit interview. Now, some companies, I don't know if you have heard about these stories of people, like when they start working anywhere, they give them a blank piece of paper, like they give them a complete blank sheet and they tell them, please sign here. Have you ever heard about this or have you ever had any experience with companies that um, in order to be hired, you need to sign a blank sheet?
Fortunately, I never had that thing.
Mm. Have you ever heard about stories from people who to sign a blank sheet of paper?
I think it's crazy to do that. It's
Yeah.
very risky.
Yeah, it's very risky and it's illegal, but I've heard about many companies who do this and the employees don't have like other option because it's like I mean they don't do it at the beginning. They first tell you the information and they give you training. And once you are almost in and you are so interested about the job and you think that the job is yours, they give you this blank paper for you to sign. And that's so bad, like I've seen this. Well, not seen, but many of my students have told me situations from some specific companies that do this. So just to make sure, for anyone who, I don't know, doesn't have any idea of this, why would any company make you sign a blank sheet of paper? Well, what do you think is the reason that some companies do this praxis? What do you think is the reason?
It could be many reasons, but mostly I think it's gonna be tricky, something tricky against the employee. Because if you are having really good feelings about something, or you are trying to help someone, no, you want everything be clear, everything be like correct in between the two parts. So that's why if someone one day trying to give me a blank page like this, I wouldn't sign in that at all, because it could be really tricky, really tricky, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so it's really dangerous. We should never do that. And actually, it seems that even if they do that, they have your signature on blank paper. Mm, I think that there are ways you can, like this, you can legally avoid to be tricked. Yeah. But yeah, it's so sad. I've seen places like there are companies that they do everything correct, like maybe they're too strict, but they pay you like everything they're supposed to. They pay your yearly revenue. They pay you your any compensations. um and I know some places, for example, some of my students who work at the hotels, they receive tips, and they've told me that some of their managers ask them to give them part of their tips, like you need to give your manager, your boss, your tips, like not everything, but just some percentage. But still, if you don't do it, like you say, I'm sorry, boss, I didn't make any tips today, and you hide the money, like they could like he could maybe remove you from this area where you can earn some tips. Because some of my students have told me that well, tourists can give you, for example, a $100 bill for a tip, and this happens like a lot during the day, and actually they make more money from the tips than the job itself. And yeah, they've told me like real horror stories that I don't know, if you get sick and like they get rid of you, that you resign and they don't pay you. I mean, you don't resign, but they lay you off, they fire you, and they don't pay you back what you deserve, your compensations. So yeah, we're talking about these wrong praxis and practices from some companies. All right, here we have another concept, that is the turnover rate. Again, choose the option that you think is correct. All right. So, yeah, so that's the rate at which employees leave the company. this turnover rate, um, it's a kind of comparison that they do. So in order to know, I don't know if you own something, maybe some time, um, it's usually calculated during a year. It's just like to know what is the company's retention, you know. It's not really important for the employee, but the turnover rate is like okay, you know, but you well, it's important for you too because when you check on the internet what is the turnover rate of a company and it's really high, that's not a good thing because they're always changing people, right? Like then there's this person, there's this manager, and tomorrow there's a different one. So this turnover rate that sometimes there are some institutions or there are some other companies that rate companies and you can get an idea of how good is the company. So if they keep if they have a good retention of their employees, so that means that that's a good company, right? Okay, very well, let's go. Then we have this probation period. What do you think is a probation period? Okay, so it's the time for evaluating a new employee's performance. And so you are on probation at the beginning, especially for some jobs that require, for example, we could have this like a manager level. So in this kind of job, you need to show besides of the experience that you have, maybe they're looking for someone with experience, and even though you will receive some training, they have this probation period to show if you will really if you are really what you said during your interview or your CV. But again, like I think that many companies don't have a probation period if they don't ask for some experience, some background, right? Sometimes when you start from scratch from a company, they let you just they train you and everything. That's another good thing too. All right, let's continue. Then some people find jobs through recruitment agencies. Yeah. So yeah, and I can see that they assist companies in finding suitable employees. I recommend you one that is Manpower, and this one is really nice. It's both for you and the companies, I think, but yeah, you if you ever I don't know if you're ever looking for a job and you find a Manpower, I don't know if it's in every country, but and they're really good at finding you a job so quickly. And did you know that there are actually recruitment agencies that are paid by the government in some countries? I think that's a super cool idea because I don't know if it exists in your countries, but I've seen this in Europe. You can go to this like let's say the regional government palace where well, I don't know, just like the government this building where they give information to all the citizens, and there is like a department that they can give you a job. And well, my wife was telling me that if you're unemployed, you can go to this it's not a company, but it's like an agency, it's part of the government, and they make the alliance with the government with the companies, and they can get you a job really quickly, and like they interview you, and they get to know what is your background, and they try to find the most suitable job for you. So I think that's really cool. Like sometimes it's very difficult for people to find a job, and when you have the support from the government to connect you to a company for free, like that's crazy, no? That's good. That's a good service.
You have to be the party of the country or
Yeah,
even
yeah,
with
you have to be a citizen from this
a citizen.
country.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, unfortunately. If not,
That.
that would be good for many immigrants, right? Yeah. But yeah, recruitment agencies are always a good support when you're looking for a job. Nowadays, there are some offers on the internet that are not, you can trust them. Companies don't exist or they're different, right? Like, for example, maybe you are looking for a serious job on a platform like LinkedIn. And LinkedIn used to be very serious, but now everyone can post jobs on LinkedIn. Like, um, we've seen like jobs that are really not what they what would like you discover there is like kind of multi-level companies. The multi-level is something that is called like pyramidal, you know, or I don't know, like any kind of um, sales, I don't know, like a position on sales, but I don't know, something that is um very difficult to sell, you know. I recently came across, I saw one of these job offers, and some of my friends showed me, and it was for selling, and it was like a financial, it was a finance company, this, what's it called? Forgot, but there's this, three letters for this. But well, this financial company was supposed to help you to delete your bad history with credit, with your credit score, the credit score. So if you had a not really good score or not really good history with the banks, they offer to erase that and to help you. That was very suspicious. Then later he found out that that is not legal, that is not possible. So, okay, then we have this other word that is the stakeholder. What is the stakeholder in a company? Okay, so the stakeholder, any person with an interest or concern in the company. So maybe this definition is not the best, but according to this, what do you think is a stakeholder?
The company I work for, is a foreigner company, and and they got actionists and are the owners of the company. So one of our goals, like global goals in all the world, is to raise the number for the stakeholders. I know what was talking about, like, the question, because you know that 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 specific goal that we have, is about that. It's about to get the number than make the stakeholders win money, you know? So that's why I think. But I think it's that is regarding like that, like person that have put money or have a strong interest in a business. It's like a stakeholder, I think.
Okay. So yeah, that's one of them. The stakeholder is any person interested in your company, or any group of people. Yeah. So the stakeholder could be the clients themselves, employees, suppliers. Yeah. So any group that is interested in the company. So just like Saul said, yeah, it's sometimes of the interest of the companies to know this, just because they make part of, like, also the owners, and and it's different, right? The stockholders, people who invest in the company. So that is something that also defines how big a company is. And then when it's something, it's not exactly the same, but I don't know if you have ever heard about the word, too big to fall. Have you ever heard this expression, too big to fall?
No.
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 So it's usually used for banks or very powerful companies, that if they fall, like if they go bankrupt, the whole country could go bankrupt with the company. So sometimes the government even prefers to save the company, like they give them money just that's for the company to survive, because if the company goes bankrupt, the whole country will go bankrupt too. This happens sometimes with some monopolies, and big monopolies, according to the information of them, from this word stakeholder, is so companies that have a lot of stakeholders, different stakeholders, because sometimes it's not only the company, right? Because you think about one company, but that's not just the company. You think about thousands of people who work at the company. You think about a lot of um, suppliers or providers that they also make money because they work for those companies, like externally. And there are a lot of investors. Maybe this is a public company, right? Maybe it shares stocks nationally. So yeah, sometimes there are some companies, there are some banks that they are too big to fall, and then there goes a lot of corruption too, right? When a company is too big, they can they can push the government in a way, right? Because now the company is so big that, I'm surprised, but there's people like, for example, Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, and these people have more money than countries, like, these people could go to a piece of land and have a country themselves. And so the reality is that when a company is so big, it has a lot of stakeholders and a lot of controls. So then you have a result that this company is a monster, that if it ever falls, it could be so bad for the economy of a country. And that stakeholder is a parameter that they use to know how important a company is. Okay, so what is the meaning of down? We know down, but sizing, downsizing. The size is like size, right? All right. So this is a very elegant way to say something catastrophic for the employees, which is to reduce the number of employees. It's fun how sometimes companies, I don't want to talk like to sound too anarchist, but sometimes companies want to show themselves like they care a lot about the employees, and they tell you like we have we are there's even a um there's a certification, no, that is best place to work, and they say we are, I know, great place to work. Okay, we are great place to work, and we care about the employees, and even they make some activities with them. Like I could go. I will show you when I will show you my LinkedIn. Sometimes I'm checking a lot, and you see a lot of look okay. Now, for example, I have this guy who works at the hotel, and they prepare and they make lots of things for the employees, like this food, or they have a soccer. This is for example an human resources manager, and he's cooking for the employees, and like they make lots of activities to make the employees comfortable, and they have the idea that my the people at my work are my family. I don't know if you ever heard the expression that we are more than a team. We are a family. And you're like, excuse me, but my family is my family, and this is my relationship at work. But you're not my family, right? And then they have this culture, which I think is not bad. I mean, you can have some fun at work. You stop at work so they can give you some food, or they have cool activities, right? But then they go with some practices like I told you, right? They make you sign the blank paper, right? They make you I don't know, like when it comes to understand when you are sick, when you are on sick leave. You know the expression sick leave, when you are on sick leave. Do you understand sick leave? Sick leave is when you ask for permission to be absent at work, so because you're sick. So that's why sick leave. And and your boss goes speaking, they tell you, I'm sorry, you can't. So I think that it's not really um logical to think about a great place to work company when they do such things like downsizing. Um, Well, yeah, well, that's one thing that they could do when the company is about to go bankrupt. What is the meaning of outsourcing? This is a thing we see it everywhere nowadays. It's so common. Oh, so sorry. Okay, outsource. What is outsource? Yes, so usually there's a cool website that you can visit, and they can give you a job, but like you could get many jobs actually, but you are not part of the company. They just assign you for some jobs. Let me see if I find it so I can share with you.
It's like working like freelance, something like that.
Aha, exactly. Do you know Upwork? So many this is really cool. I know many friends that have used this website. So Upwork is a company, or Upwork has many companies, and the human resources is like, we have a project, or we want to hire someone, but not forever. We want to have someone just for 1 month or for 6 months. So you can go to this platform, and it's for people who don't want to have a long-term job. I don't know, maybe you can have some work as translator. So you don't work for the company, you just do one job for them. So you are like Saul said, you're a freelancer. So this is the company for free. This is the a platform you can use for if you like freelancing or you want to make some extra money, you can go here and you write here like what is your, maybe you are a technician, or maybe you are programmer, or you are an analyst or whatever. So you go to this website and you can find jobs that match with your what you can do. Or you can say what you do, and the company see your profile and they hire you, but just for that specific job. So they don't actually hire you, they just take you for that job, and after that you're done, they pay you, and that's it. You know,
Like a fee based,
it's like what?
fee based, honorarios.
Yeah, it's you when you're paid based on your like yeah fees as a professional, like yeah like you said, like your fees, your honorarius. Yes, exactly. It's cool because on one hand you don't have to go through contract and wait for them to train you, but you can go and you can find you, if you want to work for 5 companies, you can do it here. So you just you need to offer, and if there is a thing like supply and demand, if you have a fair price, if you have a good price, because you compete with other people that are offering the same services, so if you have a fair price, they could hire you, right? So sometimes well, that could be a disadvantage, that because there's a lot of people competing, you need to lower your price. But that's one thing. So this is like Upwork, let's say, is a platform for outsourcing. Then some other companies outsource in Latin American countries. For example, American companies know that hiring American citizen is expensive, because this is a high um how you call, I forgot to say this. Um So this like kind of I really forgot what I wanted to say, but and there's some people in United States that make a lot of money, so they don't
Connection is
accept.
freezing just for me, or
Excuse me.
okay, I don't know if the connection is freezing just for me or the other guys can hear you well. I wasn't hear you well.
I don't know. It's raining a lot right now. It starts raining a lot. It's so my internet could start failing, but you can hear me now.
Yes, right now I'm hearing
Okay.
you.
Yeah. And so the American companies know that it's expensive to hire an American, right? So what do? They go to countries that are known for not having good salaries. So sometimes they check in Mexico, in Peru, right, in Colombia. Well, and these companies, they are American companies, and they pay you good money because they are American companies, or they're Canadian companies or European, but they don't pay as much as they would pay a person from their own country. So that's why they outsource. And some people, some politicians say that outsourcing is not ethical because they abuse from people whose salaries are low. But I mean, why not? You can, when you compare sometimes the offers from other companies and from Mexican companies or from Chilean or from Peruvian or whatever, and you see that they offer a really good price. And sometimes you can work from home. and it's totally legal. But again, it's like when you search for jobs, just need to be careful of scams. Okay, do we have here fringe benefits? What do you think are the fringe benefits? This is very important. Like when you ask, okay, you pay me my salary, and what are the fringe benefits? Exactly. The fringe benefits are like we could say the lawful, the benefits that you receive besides your salary, right? So these are perks. Perks are like benefits, right? Bonuses in addition to the basic salary. So most of the companies should pay you, for example, an additional bonus a year, like the yearly revenue, which is like aguinaldo, the yearly revenue, and they pay you your, I don't know what else, but they should pay more, right? And then they also, some companies offer you um health insurance, right? And social insurance, and some of them even give you um like a mortgage to buy a house. Sometimes the mortgage and the house you get is not the best, but some companies offer you that. So those are some of the benefits for working for a company. Okay, and what is onboarding? This is just very formal way to say. Okay, so it's just a process to hire someone. Okay. All right, so yeah, executive recruiter. Have you ever had any bad experience with someone from human resources, or your your experiences having good?
You know, teacher, in my case, I have a LinkedIn account too. Even 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 I even I am not looking actively for a job. You know, a lot of companies sometimes base it in the experience and all the information that we put in our profiles. You know, sometimes trying to to like the expression say headhunter.
Uh-huh.
You know, they try to catch us, you know, but I have never had a bad experience. Normally, this kind of person trying to go to you like the best way, I think, and they try to offer you the best deal because if you sign with them, you know, that's convenience for them too. So that's why I think normally, at least in my experience, are good things. Like I have never had a bad experience.
Yeah, because again, some students have told me that when they're in the interview, and people are so arrogant. I think that some people, there are some cases where sometimes you're actively trying to find a job, but maybe you have some savings, right? So you can survive. But there's some people who are very desperate about a job, and I think that sometimes there's cruelty from these people, and they treat them so bad, and they diminish them, and they humiliate them just because they're looking for a job because they need the money, right? And when you, that's one advice that I could give you. I think that when you go to a job, you shouldn't show that urgency for the money because, yeah, we don't do it for free. But when they do that, I think that their behavior from the headhunters could change. It shouldn't change. Like they should keep professional, but sometimes they can feel very arrogant. Like, I have a job, you don't have a job, and you can get this job because of me. And they feel so arrogant, right? That you depend on me to get this job. And then that's something that sucks at corporate word, right? The corporate word can suck. Okay, what do you think is the meaning of outplace? Now this is the opposite of onboarding. Okay, exactly. So, again, in good companies, they when you are exiting the job, they help you find a new job, right? And that's super cool because it's not like, you don't want to work for us anymore, so or we fire you, we don't care about you. But some companies can go through this outplacement process to help you find another job so that you don't lose some time looking for a new one. What does a tradition mean in HR context? Another way, elegant way to say to fire some employees. All right, so this was some new vocabulary. Okay, guys. So we'll continue talking now. We'll have a conversation and practice a bit more tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining and take care. Have a good night.